joining me as we continue to explore the 7 Hebrew letters associated with the path of the seeker. This is the final letter depicting the path of the seeker, and it's also the final letter of the Hebrew alphabet. There is a lot to learn about this wonderful letter. Here we receive a hint about the purpose of humanity as a whole. Tav begins the Hebrew word for prayer. Hoffman explains that prayer is a natural outpouring of religious feeling and passion. Abravanel explains, prayer is our way of externalizing our desire for spiritual elevation, our yearning to approach the absolute. Prayer is the service of the heart. To pray properly, we must rediscover the real needs of our divine soul, separating them from the needs of the ego. This is an alchemical process. The heart must be refined just like gold or silver. I was so inspired by the following quote that I had to write a meditative blog on the subject of how King Solomon and alchemy were connected. Abravanel quoted, "The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold. The Lord tests the heart." Tav begins the word tikkun, which means to rectify, redeem, or make whole. Here is a beautiful teaching relayed by Edward Hoffman. According to Rabbi Isaac Luria, shards of the divine fell into the world of matter, and it is the task of each person to redeem or liberate the sacred heart that lies within everything. He further explains that stones, plants, animals, and humans are in a heavenly exile until the light returns unbroken to its source. Each person has a unique mission to play in this process. As each of us are shards, we must each shine our light as one to reflect the light of creation back to the Creator. Daniela Abravanel shares this insightful quote by Carl Jung. The Jew has the advantage of having long since anticipated the development of consciousness in his own spiritual history. By this I mean the Lurianic stage of the Kabbalah, the breaking of the vessels, and man's help in restoring them. Here the thought emerges for the first time that man must help repair the damage wrought by creation. For the first time, man's cosmic responsibility is acknowledged. Abravanel then explains Jung was fascinated by the Kabbalistic concept of man's descent into the abyss of material existence, for the purpose of elevating the divine sparks dispersed into the chaos. I cannot even begin to go into the connections that I made with this statement. So again, I must refer you to a link in the description box below with a meditation on that subject. Tav also opens the Hebrew word for repentance, or more accurately, Hoffman explains, return to source. To achieve this return, Hoffman explains, each of us is estranged from our divine essence. We must seek to nurture and then express our highest qualities in the everyday world. Abravanel also makes this connection and explains, specifically, this means a return to the one essence, Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet. I'll provide a link to my introduction to the Hebrew alphabet video along with a tarot key card named The Fool in the description box below. In those 2 videos, I describe the Hebrew letter Aleph in detail. Abravanel explains that the Hebrew word for penitent also starts with Tav. Wow. I cannot think of a better way to complete the 7 Hebrew letters of the Seeker than with that message. There will be one more video concluding our exploration of the 7 Hebrew letters associated with the Path of the Seeker. I didn't intend to make another video, but as I meditated upon the entire set, I noticed something fascinating. Until then, remember how important your voice and your light is in this world. Thank you, brave soul, for joining me on the Path of the Seeker. May you find peace